Alright, so I'm gonna walk through my Greybox for my single player Quake map, which was tentatively titled Sokushinbutsu, but that title doesn't make much sense anymore, so I'm gonna have to change the title. But jumping into the map, straight away we get this sort of view of this tower, which of this huge area, which I wanted the level to give sort of a feeling of hugeness and expansiveness. So this kind of accomplishes that. And walking into the temple, there's sort of a strange room with lots of different doors, but there's not much that the player can do immediately other than press this button, which will open these doors. But there is also a secret here where if you shoot up, that will open this and allow you to get this weapon, which is completely optional. It's just a secret or bonus. And coming into this room, there's also, doesn't appear to be much, but you can actually dive into this water here, which will take you to the next area. And this area sort of will, right around here is where there will be the first enemy, which will be a swarmer type enemy, just a single one, which is the rotfish. It's sort of an aquatic enemy. And then over here, there will be more aquatic enemies coming around. There's this door, but you need the silver key for it. So continuing on, there's another button up here, which once you press it, you can see that it unlocks that door from the main room. So the player can head back to the main room and go through that door. So going up these stairs will lead you to the next floor, which overlooks that floor. And in the final version, there will be this sort of gray area, just represents a wall, so there will be sort of a blockage here. So the player will be forced to go through this way. So they'll dip into the water, and then coming in this room, they'll get their first encounter with a zombie, but they won't be able to really do anything to the zombie because the zombies can only be jibbed and the player doesn't have a weapon that is powerful enough to jib them yet. So the player will just have to run away, and I'm planning on also having some more enemies in some of these pools. And coming around, it looks like you can't open this door, so the player can go outside, grab this gun, and they can see that there's another gun over there, and go back in the other way and open that door. And this leads up to level 3 and back down to level 1, so they can go back down and open up a new pathway for themselves to make backtracking and such easier. And then heading up to level 3, the player has this sort of huge room with a lot of water in it, which eventually will be, in the final version, this will be slime, but for now it's water. And this sort of central room, which actually needs a gold key. So all the player can do on this floor, as of yet, is just open up this button and go into here. And this is where the player will have their first encounter with the Death Knight, which is the sort of melee enemy. So they'll have sort of a tight quarters melee combat, and then they'll be rewarded with the biosuit, which will allow them to swim in the slime and swim longer in water as well. So let's dip in the water here, and you can see the player can explore this pathway now, which I'm planning on possibly having another encounter with the Death Knight over here, and they get the silver key. So now that the player has the silver key, they can head back down to the door that they were at earlier and unlock it. So let's head back over to that door. And I used these bars all throughout the level to kind of allow the player to see what's ahead of them and see what, if they're pressing a button, what that button interacts with. So going through the silver key door, we go down into the tombs. So there's some water here, and then this is where the player will have the first encounter with the heavy enemy, which is the Vor, which there will be sort of a swarm of zombies here, and the Vor will be stuck in that little corral over there. And the Vor will try to shoot the player, but instead they'll just hit all the zombies, which will allow the player to quickly run through or to try to kill the Vor and to get to this door. And then coming on to this next room, I plan to have zombies spawn from all of these little things, which I plan to make into sort of coffin looking things. And the zombies spawn, and the player, still can't hurt the zombies directly themselves, so they run past, press the button, and the zombies all fall down into the insta-kill pit. And then heading forward, in this next area, there's a gun, a new gun, and this little button, which will open up this way forward. And then coming around the corner here, each one of these caskets will probably spawn a Death Knight, so the player will engage in some combat with multiple enemies at once. And then over here, same thing, some more Death Knights will spawn and the player will engage in combat. So once the player defeats all the Death Knights, this door will open, which will allow them to get the gold key and unlock the way forward with that button. But you saw earlier, there's also this door, which is a secret, which leads forward to the other sort of stupa that was outside. And so this one has sort of a view path to allow the player to see that's where they spawned in at the very beginning. So it's sort of a neat secret or Easter egg which was included. And then progressing back forward, the player can come up here, unlock this door, and then make their way back up to the top level where the gold key door was. So I might end up adding in some enemies that spawn like after certain events or whatever to make the backtracking more exciting, but we'll see about that. And so that unlocks the gold key door. Coming up here, there's this teleporter, but there's actually also a secret teleporter on this side. So let's go into the secret one. And this will take us up to a top level where there will hopefully be ammo and armor and other stuff for the player to use. And then down there is where the player would have spawned if they took the one that was right in front of their face. And then coming into here, this is where the boss battle will be. But there's no boss battle yet since it's just Greybox. But there is the reward which you get from the boss battle, which is the grenade launcher, which is a pretty useful weapon. And the grenade launcher can be used to launch grenades into these strange structures that you're seeing. And to do that, we'll actually activate a button in there and open the doorway. So let's try it again. It's sort of like basketball. And going on down. And also the player can now jump down and try to get the rocket launcher. So let's try to do that. A little damage. And then this is the last weapon, the rocket launcher. So coming in here, you can use the grenade launcher or the rocket launcher to sort of activate that button. And that is pretty cool. It divides the statues that were in the middle and allows the player to get through now. And then this is the end of the level. So yeah, that's my Greybox level design overview, playthrough, walkthrough, whatever you want to call it, for my single player Quake level. So that's it. Thanks for watching.